4 signs you are doing well financially, even if it doesn't feel like it. You're making more money, but you still feel financially stuck. Common sense tells you to focus on earning more, but the real key is optimizing the financial systems that support that income. If you're constantly chasing higher salaries, you're missing the point. Wealth is built by refining your financial infrastructure, not just working harder. The wealthy don't just earn, they make every dollar work for them. Are you optimizing your income yet? Point 1. Your net worth grows while you sleep. When was the last time you looked at your net worth and saw it grow without you lifting a finger? That's the principle of true wealth. Your net worth, assets minus liabilities, should be increasing even while you're sleeping. This isn't some fairy tale. It's a strategic system that, when built properly, creates financial momentum. But here's where most people miss the mark. They focus exclusively on income. They think the more money they make, the closer they get to wealth. But that's a trap. Earning more money doesn't automatically make you wealthier. It's how you manage and invest that money that matters. Most people are on the hamster wheel of earning more and more without building an infrastructure to grow their wealth in the background. They're putting all their energy into increasing their income, but without leveraging their assets, their wealth won't compound. If you're not seeing your net worth grow while you're not actively working, you're missing out on the most powerful part of wealth building. The wealthy know this. They don't just focus on earning more, they focus on building systems that make their money work for them. Real wealth is built by investing in appreciating assets, not just working harder. Let's say you invest in a rental property, which appreciates over time and generates monthly cash flow. Over time, that property grows in value and provides passive income. Or you invest in stocks, or even in building a business that generates recurring revenue. Those are systems that keep growing your wealth, even when you're not directly working. That's the key shift. The wealthy build systems that work for them, even when they're sleeping. So, the next time you look at your bank account or your investments, ask yourself, is this growing without my constant intervention? If it's not, then you need to start building systems, assets that compound, grow, and produce results without you having to always hustle. This is how true financial freedom happens. You stop trading your time for money and start working smarter, not harder. Point 2. You can make decisions without a price tag. One of the clearest signs that you're doing well financially is the ability to make decisions without factoring in the price tag. This doesn't mean you're being reckless with your spending. Far from it. It means you've reached a point where money is no longer a barrier to the decisions you need to make for growth. This is the point where your financial situation is no longer tied to survival mode. Instead, you're thinking about opportunity, strategy, and value creation. Now, most people make decisions based on their immediate budget, whether it's what car to drive, which neighborhood to live in, or what education or skill sets to invest in. The price tag often dictates their choices. This might seem like the responsible thing to do, but it's actually a limiting mindset. It's the short-term thinking that keeps people stuck in a cycle of just getting by, rather than truly thriving. The wealthy, however, understand that money should never dictate their decisions. They make decisions based on long-term value, opportunity, and what will move the needle in their business, their investments, and their personal growth. Think about it. A wealthy entrepreneur doesn't choose to hire or invest in something because it's the cheapest option. They ask themselves, will this create more value over time? When deciding to expand their business, they don't think about the immediate cost. They think about the return on investment, ROI, they'll get in the future. Will it free up their time? Will it increase their ability to scale? The same applies to decisions in personal life. Whether it's a bigger home or a high-caliber education for their children, they consider the value, not the cost. For example, a well-established business owner might look at hiring an expert to grow their business, even if it costs more upfront. They don't focus on the expense. They're thinking, what is the future upside of this decision? This is the mentality that wealthy people use when making financial decisions. They don't get bogged down by the immediate price. When you stop seeing money as a limiting factor and start seeing it as a tool for creating opportunities, that's when your financial situation starts to shift. You'll find yourself making smarter decisions, thinking bigger, and taking on new opportunities that accelerate your wealth. This mindset doesn't just change your financial decisions, it transforms how you see the world. You're no longer constrained by what you can afford right now. You're focused on what's going to pay dividends down the line. Point 3. Your peers don't know your actual net worth. One of the quiet signs that you're doing well financially is that your peers don't know your true net worth. The wealthy understand that discretion is a key to preserving and growing their wealth. While most people are eager to show off their success, posting flashy cars or designer clothes on social media, the wealthy prefer to keep their financial position under wraps. This isn't about being secretive. It's about controlling the narrative and staying focused on long-term wealth building, not short-term validation. Most people today are caught in a game of comparison. The rise of social media only amplifies this. The more people flaunt their success, the more others feel the need to keep up. But the truth is, wealth is rarely built through showcasing it. In fact, the wealthy understand that the less others know about your finances, the more freedom you have to maneuver. Showing off wealth can often attract unnecessary attention, lead to envy, or even create financial pressures to keep up appearances. It shifts your focus from building assets to impressing others, and that's not how wealth is built. This is a core principle the wealthy understand. Take someone like Warren Buffett, who still drives an old car and lives in the same modest home he bought decades ago. The wealthiest individuals tend to live below their means, reinvesting profits into their businesses or other high-return opportunities. They know that true financial freedom doesn't come from status symbols, it comes from growing assets and securing long-term financial stability. For instance, a successful entrepreneur doesn't need to flaunt their business's success. Instead, they focus on expanding it, investing in new ventures, acquiring assets, or building networks that generate future value. They understand that wealth isn't just about what's on display, it's about what's growing behind the scenes, under the radar. This approach allows for greater control over financial decisions, less pressure to constantly one-up others, and more freedom to make moves that align with long-term goals. If everyone knows exactly how much money you have, your options become limited. You may start making decisions based on what others expect rather than what aligns with your wealth-building strategy. When you stop playing the comparison game and shift focus to increasing your net worth through strategic, low-profile actions, you free yourself from the distractions of status and begin making decisions that actually build wealth. It's a mindset shift that pays off exponentially. Point 4. Your time is protected by systems, not willpower. One of the clearest signs that you're doing well financially is when your time is protected by systems, not just willpower. It's easy to think that success comes from working harder, hustling longer hours, and simply relying on your will to power through obstacles. But that's a myth. The wealthy know that willpower is limited, and it's the systems they put in place that allow them to maintain their productivity and protect their time, which is the most valuable asset they have. Let's be honest, relying on sheer willpower to succeed is a fast track to burnout. You might push yourself to the limit for a while, grinding day after day, but eventually that energy runs out. Willpower alone can't scale. This is where systems come in. The wealthy use systems to automate, delegate, and streamline their lives, whether it's their business operations, investments, or personal tasks, so they don't have to exhaust their mental and physical resources just to stay afloat. They create an environment where their financial success doesn't rely on them working 18 hours a day. Instead, they set up frameworks that run smoothly without them constantly micromanaging. Take, for example, an entrepreneur who builds a team to handle the day-to-day operations of the business. By doing so, they free up time to focus on high-leverage activities, things that actually drive growth, like strategy, partnerships, and expansion. They don't need to be stuck answering every email or handling every decision. The system, the team, the processes, the technology takes care of the repetitive tasks, leaving them to focus on what truly matters. The same principle applies to personal finance. A well-structured investment strategy, set up with minimal ongoing effort, allows your wealth to grow without requiring constant oversight. Your investments, whether in real estate, stocks, or businesses, should ideally be set up in a way that requires little intervention from you once they're in place. This means you're not spending every waking moment stressing over them. They're growing in the background, working for you. When you rely on systems, you free up mental bandwidth and energy for the things that truly matter: building, scaling, and living. The payoff here is clear. Your wealth grows without demanding every ounce of your time and energy. You protect your time so you can focus on higher leverage opportunities, and in doing so, you make wealth building a sustainable, long-term process, not an exhausting sprint. Bonus point: track net worth, not just income. Here's a bonus for sticking around. Stop focusing solely on income. Start tracking your net worth. This is a game changer. Income is just the flow of money. It's not the full picture. Net worth, on the other hand, gives you a clearer view of your financial health. It's not about how much you're making today. It's about what you've accumulated over time and how well you're leveraging your assets. The wealthy understand this. They know that wealth isn't built by high salaries alone. It's built by strategically acquiring and growing assets, whether that's real estate, stocks, or businesses. By focusing on net worth, you're forced to think about your money differently. You start considering how each financial decision affects your overall wealth, whether it's investing in assets, reducing liabilities, or even managing your taxes. Tracking net worth helps you see the bigger picture. You can't truly measure financial progress by just looking at how much you're earning in a given year. You need to measure your assets, subtract your liabilities, and assess your growth. This shift in focus is how the wealthy stay ahead. They prioritize long-term accumulation over short-term income spikes. So start tracking your net worth today. Your future self will thank you. If you're serious about building wealth, drop a comment below with the word Asset Builder. Let's build a community of high-agency individuals who are putting these frameworks into action. And if you found value in this video, like it to help spread this knowledge to others. Make sure you're subscribed for daily insights and strategies to accelerate your wealth building journey. Share this video with someone who's ready to take their financial strategy to the next level. There's another video recommended on screen that dives deeper into creating systems for financial success. I'll see you in the next one.